public education, a place for learning, a place for growing, a place for interaction, a place for instruction. With so many opportunities for young people to grow, how are we sure a school is meeting the needs of society? The principal. The principal is not only the instructional leader of the school, but he leads the future leaders of tomorrow. With all the activities in a school, how can the principal possibly arrange his time to spend on the most important aspect of the school, the improvement of education? This is the purpose of the SAM project. SAM stands for the School Administration Manager. Funded by the Wallace Foundation since 2003, it is a system to help develop a better understanding of how principals use their time. The goal of the project is to shift the role of the principal to focus less on management duties and more on teaching practice, student learning, and school improvement. Now that we know how SAM works, let's follow our principal, Mr. Bregy, on a typical day before being involved in the SAM program. The focus of most principals is not always on instruction. The focus is on budget, facilities, resources, technology, employees, policy, administration, community, discipline, district policy, rates, attendance, clubs, sports, discipline, graduation rates, attendance. Without a system of order, the principal's life can quickly spin out of control. That's where the SAM project comes in. At Jacobs High School in Algonquin, Illinois, we use an alternative model of the SAM project. We employ students as SAMs. With the assistance of a chief secretary, students plan the days for the principal. Who better to assist the principal but the students who are at the heart of the school? They represent a fresh and unique insight to the needs of the institution. The two student SAMs at Jacobs High School spend their first block every day scheduling walkthroughs, meeting with staff members, and reviewing data. Every Monday, Mr. Bregy is scheduled into a full day of classes by his SAMs. In order to fully take part in the experience, Mr. Bregy dresses as a student and follows a student's schedule of each class and lunch. He fights the hallways, carries his books to class, is responsible for participating in group work, taking notes, and even doing homework. As you can see, our principal gets quite an education. In one day, he gets a feel for the curriculum, classroom environment, and the school culture. He becomes acquainted with various students, teachers, and support staff. He may become aware of maintenance issues, needs, wants, successes, challenges, setbacks, and various other factors that will allow a school to succeed or fail.
I've come to realize that it's very, very valuable for him, definitely, as a professional and as an educator especially. And it's also made him a pervasive person in the school, and a tangible person, because when you're a principal, a lot of times you're just this person who sits in the office and sort of an enigma, and some people are sort of kind of aware of who you are, but not really, and that's just not the case with Mr. Bregy at all. It's just made him just a cut above probably any other high school principal.
Well, it makes the principal much more visible in the school setting, and the principal gets to see how curriculum and instruction is actually carried out, and hopefully sees teachers at their best, and sees also the struggles that teachers might have to go through with implementing their curriculum instruction. But the principal can also see what it's like to be a student in that classroom. So it's beneficial because he gets to see both student and teacher perspective, and he can be supportive of students and teachers better, I think, and he knows what it's like on a daily basis.
Yeah.
The most important aspect of the SAM procedure is yet to come. After the day of observations, a post-conference with each teacher is scheduled. This is a time where the principal can share observations that were made throughout the day. This is a valuable tool since the teacher and principal can talk freely. The post-conference is not a formal evaluation of the selected teachers. It is simply a time to discuss the positive and negative aspects of the activities in the classroom. Every day, the principal, SAMs, and secretary meet to discuss their progress and set goals for the future. Together, they form an invaluable team entirely focused on instructional improvement.
I think one of my concerns is that due to the district's finances, we're laying off 28 first and second year teachers, and they are all asking me for letters of recommendation, so I'm a little worried that I'm going to be spending a lot of time in my office.
What exactly do you need to write for the letters?
Well, I don't want to write just one letter for each teacher. I would like to write it so that it's individually appropriate, something specific to them.
Well, in that case, do you think maybe you can go into their classrooms and use observation time as a time to write their letter?
Well, that's a good idea.
Why don't we schedule walkthroughs?
Yeah, walkthroughs would be really good. Because then you
great.
could literally use their instruction in their letter.
Do you think that will fit on the schedule?
Yeah, we get a list of the teachers and we can stick them in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would certainly get me out of the office and into the classroom, and then I can write what I'm seeing.
Well, I welcomed him as I would any other student. He was fully involved and engaged, and I taught him as I would any other student, and I got right in to my lesson and just went about what I was trying to do with enthusiasm and energy that I like to bring to my classes. Oh, definitely it lets the teachers know that the principal cares about what they're doing in the classroom, the hard work that they put in, how difficult it is to implement some lessons, and also to sometimes deal with the particular chemistry or classroom students that they have. That's not always easy, but it's a supportive measure, I think, for the teachers to see their principal right there enmeshed in what's going on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, for teachers, it's amazing because what I'll notice is he'll be in a conversation with a teacher maybe out in Commons or in the hallway or something, or will come in the office, and they will mention a student, and Mr. Bregy immediately, 90% of the time knows exactly who that student is. Now, to me, that's amazing because we have almost 2,500 students here. So to know the students here that well as a high school principal, it's pretty amazing.
would you then recommend this program? What kind of schools do you think would benefit from this?
Oh, every school, really. And you know what? It's the kind of thing that it will give back to the school and the person and the people involved. The SAM program will give back as much as you're willing to put into it. I mean, that's the bottom line. Yeah.
In all, the SAM program is a unique and important opportunity for a principal to refine their skills as the instructional leader of a building. Since 2006, Mr. Bregy has seen an 800% increase in classrooms visited. It is true that a school has an incredible amount of activities, and all of those activities are significant. Education and instruction may be one part of the overall school experience. But isn't it the most important part? Don't you want to make sure your students are receiving a quality education? Don't you want to make sure your school meets the demands and complexities of society? Could SAM work for your school?